Top 10 Things to Do in Verona, Italy. Verona is for lovers, especially for lovers of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. Here, travelers can see the house where the Juliet who inspired the play was born. They can see the tomb where she is buried, and in between they can visit the church where Shakespeare married off the ill-fated couple. This northern Italian town is, indeed, a charmer filled with Roman ruins and Gothic buildings. 10. Piazza dei Signori. Piazza dei Signori is a key square in Verona's historic center that is surrounded by notable buildings, including the Palazzos of Ragione and Consignorio, and the Church of Santa Maria Antica. The square is also known as Piazza Dante because of the statue of the great Italian author Dante, who lived in Verona for a while. Piazza dei Signori also is the main place to see and be seen in Verona, especially on Wednesday nights. 9. Duomo di Verona. Simple is in the eye of the beholder, but simple can get complicated when it is applied to the Duomo di Verona. The white and rose marble exterior is Romanesque, so it is simpler than many other major cathedrals. The interior, with its 5 bays, 3 naves, and white and rose marble floors, seems cavernous and ornate, but, again, not as ornate as some cathedrals. Still, it has its fair share of frescoes and paintings in the chapels. 8. Lombardi Tower. Who could ever have imagined that something built in 1172 would continue to today to be the tallest structure in Verona? That honor goes to the Lombardi Tower, which, at 84 meters, 275 feet tall, provides panoramic views of the city. Lombardi Tower is famous for its 2 bells, Matangona, which rang when the workday was over and also served as a fire alarm, and Rango, which rang in times of war. Visitors today have 2 ways to ascend the tower: traditional steps or an elevator. 7. Castell Vecchio. Designers of the Castell Vecchio built it with 3 purposes in mind. First, it was to be a fortress to protect the people of Verona. Secondly, it was a palazzo for a wealthy family, and, finally, since it was built on a river, it was to provide an escape route if the fortress fell. Castell Vecchio is a massive red brick symmetrical structure with 7 towers and crenellated roofs situated on the Adige River. It's a museum today, with 29 rooms filled with paintings, weapons and sculptures from 1300 to 1700. 6. Casa de Julieta. In a country known for romance, romance is what draws most visitors to Casa de Julieta, the 13th-century house where Shakespeare's Juliet reportedly was born. There is some speculation as to whether the real-life Juliet lived in the house, though it did once belong to a Capello family. This doesn't deter tourists from flocking to the house where they've made the balcony where Shakespeare's Romeo pledged undying love to Juliet undoubtedly the most photographed balcony on Earth. The fact that the balcony was added in the 20th century also doesn't bother tourists. Inside the house, visitors will find the bed and costumes from Franco Zeffirelli's lavish 1968 Romeo and Juliet, but not much else. 5. Ponte Pietra. Florence has its Ponte Vecchio, and Venice, the Rialto Bridge. Built around 100 BC, this bridge is considered one of the most important Roman monuments in Verona. The bridge is colorfully made with red brick and white stones, and reflects various architectural styles depending on when it was worked on. Original arches can be seen today on the river's left bank. 4. Chiesa della SantAnastasia. Not too far away from the Ponte Pietra is the most famous and important religious Gothic building in Verona, Chiesa della SantAnastasia. Construction took 100 years, beginning in 1280, but the exterior facade remains unfinished today. The inside of the basilica is nothing short of majestic, with 12 huge marble columns supporting the ceiling. Works by some of Verona's best painters grace the interior, which features 16 altars and chapels. 3. Basilica di San Xino Majore. Basilica di San Xino Maggiore isn't the biggest or the most important Catholic church in Verona, but it may be the most visited. Its crypt is where, according to Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet were married. This Romanesque church, the model for later Veronese Romanesque churches, also does well on its own. Its bronze doors are famous in Verona, and has a large rose window dubbed the Wheel of Fortune. Inside, visitors will find 13th and 14th century frescoes and a crypt containing the remains of San Xino, the 4th century saint for whom the basilica is named. 2. Piazza della Herb. Piazza della Herb has been around since the days of the ancient Romans, when it served as a forum complete with chariot races. Then it became a market that specialized in selling herbs. Today it's a bustling market where shoppers can buy not only herbs but other produce fresh from the farm. It's a good place for travelers to put together a picnic lunch before visiting nearby Lombardi Tower. 1. Verona Arena. Not too many travelers can say they attended an event at a 2,000-year-old Roman amphitheater, but visitors to Verona can. This open-air amphitheater, the third largest in Italy, has been a venue for events since the year 30. It was originally built to hold 30,000 spectators at gladiator contests, but now only 15,000 are allowed at events. Its elliptical shape enhances acoustics, making it ideal for music events from pop concerts to Puccini operas. Every summer, the arena hosts a world-famous opera festival where opera aficionados light up the arena with small candles.